Welcome to Farming Simulator 19, a complete guide to, with me, MrSealyp. A complete guide to horses. It will be as complete as I can make it. I will try and make it as short and concise as I can make it, but there's a lot to fit in. I'm on Felsbrunn. I've placed the house. That will become apparent later. This is my test map. That's why there's a lot of money in the top corner. Now I'm going to try and make this kind of as affordable as possible. And you'll see why, because horses can make you money. And when I just say, obviously they can make you money, they can make you some money, really good money. So I've assembled some equipment already, things you're going to need. Your horses are going to need a few things. They're going to need, obviously, a paddock. They're going to need hay. They're going to need straw for the floor for bedding. They're going to need water, and they're going to need oats. So those four things they're going to need. So what I've done already, and this is kind of what I'm saying about it being affordable. I'm assuming when you start on your map, whichever one you start on, you're going to buy a field, or you're going to start with the farm already, or you'll have a bit of land. That's going to be an outlay. Buying your piece of land will be your initial outlay, but I would assume you've done that already. And then you're going to need to place your paddock. We'll look at that in a minute. What I've got is one straw bale, round, because that will go into the War Z bale blower shredder. That was $650. Euros, pounds, euros, dollars, doesn't matter. I've got two hay bales. I've had a bit of a test on this, and I found in the process of doing this, I needed two. So that's going to be a total of, what, $1,300. So we're up to about $2,000. We've got the War Z, this one is the DE551. It goes on a front loader, and it costs about 2,300, I think it was. Yeah, 2,300. Again, not breaking the bank. We've got the Joskin Aquatrans, that came in at 9,500. Now, over at the store, I've got a tractor, which I assume you're going to have a tractor. Doesn't matter what size tractor, but I've got that with a front loader. So a tractor and front loader, you're going to need that. Or a variation of, you might go with a telehandler, or, you know, it's up to you, but something along those lines. And I've got the smaller one of these, because obviously this can be configured. The Strautmann SEK, isn't it? I think it is. The SEK. I've got one that's only one high, 4,000 litres. Then you can go to 8,000 litres with two lots high, or 12,000. This one has got oats off of a field in it, and I'll show you that in a minute. I'll explain why I've done that, because I want to show you that you can do it all different ways around. So, before you do anything now, you don't have to do it in this order, but you are going to need your horse paddock. So that's going to be your first thing. Your initial outlay is going to be for your animal pen, and that's going to be for a horse paddock. Now I'm going to go with the small one. Start with 8 horses. You can go for the large one and go for 16. That's entirely up to you, but I'm going to go with the small horse paddock. So placing it, I'm going to put it over here somewhere, probably about there, I guess is about right. Now, what I'm looking at is that's 50,000. Top left hand corner, you've got that terraforming, land adjusting thing. So what I want to do is move that around until I can get it as close. There you go. There it says 50,009 euros. So that's only going to cost me 9 euros extra to place that. That's where I'm putting it. That's my paddock. I can't buy a horse. I can't put a horse anywhere until I've got the paddock to put the horse into. Okay, so that's my first step. 50 grand. So we're probably looking at the moment, we're up to around, I don't know, 70. I guess 70,000 initial outlay. Maybe a little bit more. You can lease any of these items. You don't have to buy them, but you'll understand why I bought them in a moment. So we are going to be putting in here will be feed. Around this side is going to be your water. Around this side here is going to be where your straw gets blown in. And that's all you're going to be putting in. The feed trough is going to take the oats and the hay. This is your animal dialogue box, your open animal dialogue box. So what you can do if you want to, if I go straight on here to L3, I can now go to that list and pick a horse for 5,000. So that's another outlay, 5,000. But it's worth it. I can do it from here, but that will then incur a £300, euros or dollar fee to have it transported over, which is the same as, you know, all the other livestock. Fantastic. So I can do that if I want to. What I'm going to do very, very quickly, bear with me 1 second, is over at the animal dealership, which is where I am now, I've got my tractor and I've got on the back of it the animal trailer. We'll have a quick look in store at that. It's under animals. If I can find where that is. It's gone. Oh no, it's not. It's under animal transport. There we go. Under animal transport. Now we've got the Betamax RDS from the original from 17. We've got the AM19. We've now got the Wilson trailer Silver Star. All three of those will take cows, pigs, and they will take sheep, but they won't take horses. This one does. The Big Master Western WCF. Now it's 16,000 to buy. So if you're going to do a lot of this, it might well be worth it. But again, the same kind of argument I've always had. It depends whether you want to go for realism or not, or you're going to go for trying to do this cheaply. If I buy one horse now, and this will only hold 2 horses, if I buy one horse now, that's 5,000. I've spent 16,000 on the trailer. If I do it directly from my actual paddock, it's only going to cost me 300. I've got to buy quite a few horses before I even get anywhere near £16,000, euros or dollars. So it becomes that dilemma. What do you do? Do you get the animal trailer and do it realistically? That's entirely up to you. And what you can do, and that's what I said, this is the complete guide, so I'll show you what I mean. So in the back, we can open the cover, which opens that little flap at the back there, especially when you've got horses in there. What we can also do is we can unfold the livestock trailer. Again, that's kind of realism thing, isn't it? Start the engine. I'll back this into the actual wall. That probably wasn't a good idea. So now open our animal dialogue box, and it gives me all the options of all the animals, but I would have to go all the way down to horse. Now I'm going to go with the Palomino, no, the Pinto, because I absolutely love that. I think it looks brilliant. So I would choose my horse. There would be no extra fee. For 5,000 I would get to put it in the back. Okay, now, I'm not going to do that. Actually, you know what, it doesn't matter, does it? I might as well. Either way round. So it says move at the bottom. If I press X, that's now put it into that Big Master Western top right hand corner. That's where it is. If I press confirm now, I've bought it and it's in there. If I now open the cover as well, you can see my horse is in there. If I go around to this side, you should be able to see its face, I think. There you go, look. Very happy in there. Well, I wouldn't say very happy, but you know what I mean. So we'll close that up. Close cover, close that. And from there we can take our horse back. We'll take it back to that, but the dialogue box back at the paddock, and just unload it the same way. Really, it really doesn't make a lot of difference. Luckily, we're not actually too far away. So here we arrive. Do the same thing again. We don't have to do any of this. You don't have to unlock it all and open it all. You can do it anyway. Open the dialog box, and it now says move. It's in the trailer. If I click move, oh no, I need to go on the animal first, don't I? If I click move, it'll then put it into the farm. I click confirm, and that animal's now transferred out the trailer, and it's now into our paddock, which is fantastic. So close that up, move this out of the way. Now I'm going to do all of this based on one horse. It just gets scaled up for multiple horses. So obviously the more horses you have, the more you need in here, and there's going to be a little bit of extra work involved, obviously, with more horses. So what you can now do, if I go into the menu and I scroll across, I can get to my animal box. Now that says there, that's your animal. That was 5,000. It's now only worth 2,975. What you've got to do is get the pen information and the conditions all in the green. You want your water, your straw, your oat and your hay on the right hand side all filled up, and then underneath where it says Simba, you've got 5%. That's the animal's quality, I guess is the best way of putting it. It starts on 5%. Each day that goes up 10%, provided you've done the things you need to do. Below that, you've got the animal's kind of health rating. So if the animal pen conditions get bad, they don't get looked after properly, that will start to decrease. Below that, you've got cleanliness, and that's how clean the horse is, and you need to clean the horse. That's not a difficult thing to do at all. On the left-hand side, it says Simba, daily riding. You have to ride your horse every day. You have to get that to 100%. Then overnight, that quality bar, the quality of your horse will increase. So if you're in interested in turning a nag into a racehorse, that's how you want to do it. Every time that goes up, that bar, the quality bar, the value of the horse goes up. And that's where you're going to start making your money. And it really is, actually, you can make really good money. Like I say, I'm going to do it on one. Now, what you can do also on this screen is you can rename your horse. If I press square now, I'm going to call it Tiberius. I think I already had that in before from when I did my test. So my horse is now called Tiberius. Done. There you go, and it's changed. So that's that sorted. What I'm going to do before I do anything else now is get all the feed and stuff sorted. Get it all in. Now, over at the store, and I'm going to jump there in a second, I've got a tractor and a trailer. I'm going to show you something there. Bear with me 1 second. So I'm at the store. I've got my New Holland, and that's my tractor. It's got a front loader, got my front loader forks. On the front of this, that's part of the War Z thing. I'll show you that in a minute. And on the back, I've got the Strautmann SEK 802. This is the 4,000 litre version. To the side of it, what I've done, and again, this is going to be kind of, if you want to save yourself some money, I know it seems like a weird way of looking at it, if you buy the feed pallets, so if I go across to there and we go up to big bags and we go across to the oat big bag, £1,400 euros or dollars, you get 1,000 litres. Now I found in my test that to go through this process it only required, I think, just under 4,000 litres. So 4 pallets will do that. 4 pallets is going to come in at 5,600. So again, you've got to weigh up. It depends how many animals you've got. If you have a load of horses, you're going to need a lot more. Because the way I'm looking at it is this. If I have to, depending on what fields I own, if I have to buy a field to put oats in, or a field that's got oats in, for example, field, is that oats? Let me just, fruit type, no, it needs to be darker, doesn't it? Field 13's got oats in there. So field 13's got oats in. So if I want to do this all properly, harvest them, grow them, whatever, I've got to buy that field. To buy that field, it's going to cost me 304,000. So then again, you start weighing up 304,000, then leasing the seeding equipment, maybe plough the field, fertilise it, herbicides, weeding, everything that goes into that. If you're only going to do a few animals to start off with, it actually might work out cheaper using these. I'm just putting it out there. It's all up to you. You do it any way you want to do it, really. But you can do it both ways. So what I'm going to do is take these off the deck. Now I'm not going to load them up. What you can do is just pull alongside and it will say refill, I think. Yeah, refill tipper. So I'm just going to refill the tipper. We'll get all 4,000 in here. So this 4,000 litres of oats have come from pallets. So what we'll do now is whiz over to the farm. So apologies for crashing over the curb. I want to get there quickly. If you're one of those people that are watching this and you already know how to do this, you already get it, and you know, I'm trying to make it as clear and simple instructions as possible, because some people don't necessarily understand or know how to do it, and I want to make sure it's clear and concise and that people know what to do. I'm trying to avoid dragging out as long as possible. That's kind of the point. Now, so in this trailer I've got 4,000 litres which have come from pallets. In the bigger trailer over there I've got 12,000 litres that came from a field. The oats are no different inside. These oats have come from a field that I own. Those oats have come from someone else's field and were put into big bags for me to buy. They're exactly the same. So whether you do it loose, and in there there's 12,000 litres, if I can jump up on there and show you, in there, so I can put them in loose that have come off of a field in a trailer, no problem at all, or I can put them in a silo here and then come and collect them from a silo, however you want to do it. These ones have come from the pallet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swing round to the feed trough. That bar's going to come up at the bottom. I just want to put this out there again. I know this isn't technically anything to do with the guide to horses, but I keep asking how I can get rid of that bottom bar, not the top left one. The top left one is the help menu. I know that if I go into this menu here and turn that off, that top menu goes. That bottom one is still there. Now somebody did say to me, oh no, you just go to one below. Help icons in the game. Turn that off. Okay. Still there. So I don't know how to get rid of it. Please don't comment and say you just turn off the help window. I've tried that. I've tried it. I really have. It doesn't work. So anyway, R1 and triangle. Let's get oats in here. Right, that took 3,500 litres. So for that one horse, for this entire process, and you understand what I mean by process, it only required 3,500 litres. So not quite 4 pallets full. Right, what I can do now is go in and I'm going to check this again. So, oats is now full, 3,500 litres. So I've got green on the 2 bars there, green on oats, fantastic. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the water in, and then I'm going to put the straw in, and then we're going to put the hay in. Now this, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it only takes 3,500 litres for the hay. So when you put a bale in, unfortunately, you lose 500 litres, which is a bit annoying, but there's not really a lot you can do about that. Now the brilliant thing with this War Z, let me just explain that. The War Z bale shredder has this little attachment that comes with it. So you get a bale spike with the War Z, so you don't have to buy a separate bale spike, which is quite cool. So what that does is when you come around to here, it's going to come up with the icon again, which is, you know, mildly irritating at best, and it will tell you can hook up. So when you do that, it hooks up and makes the whole thing one unit. But what I've got to do first is put a bale into it, so that's why you can unhook with the bale spike that comes with it. No, this really struggles to slow down a little bit. I want to try and get as straight as I can. Really not as straight as I can, but oh, weird camera angle. So, put one of these in. That drops into place. I'll come down with that, zoom in again. You can, if you're efficient and good at this, you can actually drive right in like that. Press X, it hooks it up we come. We've got our bale in there and we've got our shredder. So what we'll do is take this around the other side. Now, this again, this required very, very little straw for that one horse. Again, it will all scale up depending on how many horses you've got. When I get to here, it'll ask me what I want to do. Lift it up a little bit. And I'll press R1 and triangle. And in goes the straw. Fantastic. Drop that down. What I'm going to do is make sure I disconnect that because I want the bale spike. Now, as far as I'm aware in game now, you have to put grass and stuff into troughs loose, is what I was told. For the horse, unlike before on 17, where the bale would just vanish off the front of the spikes or forks or whatever you were using, I came up to the trough and I thought, okay, yeah, they're obviously, everyone's right, you can't anymore, you can't put stuff over the rail. That's really annoying, because you used to just get to here and it would vanish. Not so. If you put it down the ground like that and then back away, boom, it goes. It's just got to be on the ground and you've got to kind of come out of it and it'll go. So if I check all those now, I'm now at 3,500 litres oats, 3,500 hay, they're both in the green, straws on 700 litres, so it hasn't used very much straw at all. And the last thing to put in is water. And that's all of the things you need for your horse or horses. It will just end up being multiples of this. And as you can see, for one horse, it's really not a huge amount of stuff. If you have 8 horses in here, you're going to be looking at, you know, double the amount of bales. The water I didn't even come even close to using all of, and the same with the straw, didn't even come close to that either. So, you know, economies of scale and whatnot. Right, that's that done. everything's in, everything's sorted, everything's in the green. What I've got to deal with now is this daily riding. The daily riding situation is to increase your horse's stamina, performance, make it healthier and whatnot. So when you come, you need to kind of wait for it to stop because it's a bit of a pain sometimes. Press square. I'm now riding Tiberius, which is awesome. So to walk forwards, I press R2. But just, I can let my finger off R2 now and that will carry on doing that. If I press it again, it will trot. If I press it again, it will canter. Press it again, it will gallop, and X will jump. So now I'm riding my horse, which is wonderful. If I press L2, it will slow to a canter. If I press L2 again, it will slow down. And if I press it again, it'll go to walk and then to a stop. I can also go backwards with my horse if I want to. Bit of a John Wayne styley there. Anyway, so what I've got to do to exercise this horse? Well, now I've done all this in my testing at a gallop. So what I've done is you ride around. You can ride across the map, you can explore, do whatever you like. It takes roughly 5 minutes at a gallop. So 5 minutes of exercise, 5 minutes of your time with this horse will give it its 100% of exercise for the day. That's it, done. 5 minutes, that's all it's going to take you. However, if you've got multiple horses, it will be 5 minutes per horse. So you then go back in, get your next horse, take that out for a ride. Now you don't have to do it all in one go. I could ride it around for a couple of minutes now, go off and do some more farm work, come back, ride it for a little bit later on, and so on and so forth. That's entirely up to you. But if you just want to do horses, then you're going to find you're probably going to need to skip time. Depending on how many horses you've got, you're going to need to skip ahead. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of sitting around doing nothing. Now, while this is happening, if I check the menu, and I need to make sure I don't ride into anything, like so, the bottom one, the cleanliness bar, is dropped to 83%. That's because the horse is getting dirty. While it's being ridden, it's getting mucky and stuff in its hooves and all the things that normally happen. Now, if you don't want to ride across the map, what you can do is just get your hand on the or the finger on the left joystick, just put yourself in a slight turn, and you can ride around in circles if you want to, or do it really tightly, although you do start to get a little bit dizzy after a while. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to carry on doing this. I'll get back to you in a minute when it gets to 100%. Well, I say a minute, 4 minutes odd left now. Okay, my 5 minutes is up, and I should be at 100% if I check there. Daily riding, 100%. Let me just slow down a second and stop. So, if I look in there now as well, that bottom bar in the middle is now orange. It says 48%. That's the horse's cleanliness. So when I get back into the paddock, I need to clean my horse. But my daily riding's done. That's it for today. Everything's good, feed-wise and whatnot. That's all okay. So what I'm going to do now is just ride through. I can open the gate if I want to, but I can also just jump the fence if I want to. Slow it right down. We have stopped. Get off my horse. And as soon as you get off, he just vanishes. He disappears. So yeah, he's back in the stable. Fantastic. Now if I go up to him, it says clean Tiberius. Press circle. Press it again. Couple of little brushes. Go back into the menu, and that bottom bar is now green. So we're all in the green, apart from that stamina quality bar, which needs to increase. Now, I have to go to the next day now before I can do my next daily riding. So if you are going to do just horses and literally nothing else, you are going to need to skip time. You might have a couple of paddocks of 16 horses, which means you're going to be doing 5 minutes per horse per day. It's going to take you a bit of time. So what I'm going to do now, I've got the house here for a specific reason. I'm going to go across on my menu. I'm going to speed up time to 120. When it gets to night time, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to sleep until the following morning. I'm going to show you what happens and then explain one little bit more. But other than that, we're looking okay. So, with the sun dipped below the horizon now. It's now 8 o'clock in the evening. I'm going to go into the house. You're getting a double whammy here. House and sleeping through the night tutorial. So when I go inside, press L3 to sleep. It asks you how many hours you want to sleep for, and you can pick. It's entirely up to you. I just set it for 12. That way I'll be up at 8 o'clock in the morning. That kind of makes sense to me. So, sleep. I like this new sleep cycle, apart from the fact the house is really expensive to buy. Now, we're on the next day. So if we click on the menu, like so, and we go across to our horse is now worth 7,926. So it's worth more than we paid for it. Already it's gone up. Left hand corner, it says daily riding is back to 0%, which means I've got to ride my horse again for another 5 minutes today. The red bar has gone up to 15%, so the quality of the horse has increased by 10%. Every day, or every night cycle that it goes through, that will increase by 10%. So it's going to take 9-10 days to get it up to 100, because it will hit 95 and then it will need to go obviously then up to 100. So about 9-10 days. So if you want to skip through time, what I was doing when I was doing the test for this was now everything else is in the green. That's all fine. I can leave that. I haven't got to worry. I'm only going to need, I think the only thing I had to top up was the hay. And I had to put one more bale in, and it wasn't because it was empty, it just went down into the orange, so I was a bit concerned that the animal's health might start to suffer, or the quality. I now go over, I get on my horse again, I go out and I ride it. So what I was doing when I was doing it, I was speeding the time up to 120, so for those 5 minutes I was riding around, it kind of went through a big chunk of the day already, and then I skipped the night and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to show you now are a couple of screenshots from different points along that cycle. I think one might be 60 something percent, one might be 80 something percent, and then one's going to be at the end, and you'll see exactly what I mean. This process will remain exactly the same. Ride your horse, bring your horse back when it's at 100% riding, get off it, clean it so everything's in the green, make sure all your troughs are all filled up, you're good to go. Next day do it again, next day do it again, and so on and so forth. And there we have it. After 10 days, I think it's 9 or 10, 9 sleeps, I think it is, we're up to 50,000. That horse has gone from being worth 5,000, buying it, dropping down to 2,900 and something. After the first step, it was down to 2,700 and something. Just by riding every day, keeping everything in the green, it will go up by 10% each day as long as you keep everything healthy and in the green. If you let any of that stuff lapse, it might not go up that much each day. Now that horse is worth 50 grand. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Now it's time to sell. That's the plan. And see if we get, well, if we get, it's worth 10,000. So horse is up in the farm section on the right hand side, and I've got to move it. So when I click on move, it should move over into the animal dealer, and I can do it straight over, go all the way down to at the bottom there. All I've got to do is click on confirm, and it will sell it direct to the animal at the animal dealer. Although I will lose £300, euros or dollars simply because of the fee. And there we go, 50,000 done. It took a few days, but we got there. And there you have it. That's the complete guide to horses. 50,000 on one horse. Yes, it takes a few days and you can skip through. If you're determined you want to be a horse rancher and you're just going to do horses, but they are profitable. On that one horse, it's taken me 10 days, but I haven't had to buy anything more in. I haven't had to do anything differently. Just ride it 5 minutes every day. That one horse has almost covered my expenses. It's certainly, that 50 grand has covered the cost of the paddock. Done. So any more horse I do in here, if I do one more horse, or if I'd have done two at the same time, that would not only have covered the paddock, that would have covered the cost of the 2 horses, that would have covered the cost of any bales, any feed. The water's free, it would have covered the cost of the Warzy, and it would have covered the cost of the Aquatrans. Probably wouldn't have been far off covering the cost of the small trailer as well, wherever I put that. So it's actually worthwhile doing. You can make some good money doing it. I hope this has been useful. I hope it hasn't been too confusing. After that first process, that first run through, and going on to the second day, you just repeat that process. Rinse, repeat, and off you go. And that's it. I hope you found this guide to horses useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.